Okay, welcome to your first video training about Skillstruck. First things first, let's learn how to log in. You're going to go to skillstruck.com and you should see this screen and you should be able to click login and sign in with Google, and you select yourself from the list. And you should have a screen that looks similar to this one. Probably a teacher portal or educator portal. If you cannot log in, you need to email me because that means I did not add you. And I apologize if I did not add you. Wasn't intentional. Tried to add everybody. I have to put in your email address manually before you can access these resources. The next thing you want to do, really the first thing you do in here, is you're going to want to go to Manage Sections. You can't really do anything until you've got a section, and you are going to click New Section, and you can name it like First Hour or something like that. And then you have a bunch of settings. You can select a platform or not. If you teach elementary, you're going to want to select Launchpad, unless you're going to teach keyboarding or robotics. I teach high school, so I pick Voyage, which is grade 6 through 12. For now, I'm not going to set anything. And then if you want the lessons to be completed in order, you're going to select this button. If you don't care what order, I mean, these are pretty self-explanatory. The people at Skillstruck said that enabling beta features makes it possible for you to get like updated, like instant updates if they are developing something, which they do. If you want those changes when they come, then select this button. Puzzle Builder sharing, I'm not sure what that is. Feel free to try it. I never really selected any of these. This is a useful feature here. If there is something that you want changed for all of your sections, then you select that and then you save it. Okay, and then we have my first hour. The next thing you're going to do is add your students. Now this is a little bit tedious. You can't just like other platforms like Canvas or Google Classroom, you can't just give them a code and then they can add themselves. They actually have to be in the system, and this is how you put them in the system. You have to type their email. You have to type their individual emails separated by commas before you can add them, and then you're going to click Add Students. And obviously we don't have a student with the email, their email, so I'm not going to do that. And then you will have several students. If they're blue, that means they've logged in. If they're gray, let's see if I have. Apparently all my sections have my students have logged in. If the students are gray, it means they haven't logged in, and most of the time for me it's because I spelled their email wrong. After you have added those students, they will ask you for the join code. Sometimes. Some of my students, I didn't even create a join code and they got in somehow. I'm not exactly sure why we need the join code, but some of the students used it, some of them didn't. It's based on your preference, I guess. So the next thing we're going to look at is back to this screen. If you want to get back to the screen, you just click the Skillstruck icon in the upper left and it'll bring you back to this screen. You won't have this portal. I have that portal. But you're going to manage what you want your students to go through. If you don't really care what they work on, leave all of these unlocked. For my classes, I locked all these, and then I only unlocked Python because I want them to focus their efforts on Python. And then again, you have, and this is really important, if you want all of these changes you just made to actually work, you have to save all changes. If you plan on doing the same changes for all your classes, you save changes to multiple sections. and you can select all your classes. You can also select all, save changes to multiple sections. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to save all changes just to my first hour. And now the students can only access Python for this first hour class. Now the next thing we're going to look at is how do you look at what you're going to teach them? What are your students going to be learning? I do high school, so I'm going to take a look at Voyage. You can look at, if you want to see, like, do I have my curriculum settings correct? You can look at it through the student's eyes down here, and you pick the section you want. So let's go to my first hour class that I just made and see what they see. Most of their time will be spent in code. If they have a project they want to build, they do it in projects. So we'll go into code. On the left will be the lessons. If you have everything unlocked, this right here is where they would pick the courses that they will take. But since I have it all locked except Python, that's the only thing that's appearing here. So then they are going to select the first lesson. I don't think I required them to do things in order, but apparently I did, it looks like, because these are all locked. So then they're going to click on Introduction. They'll watch some videos, they'll read, they'll do some things that it tells them to do. If they don't want these, you can close them. You can close the editor, you can close the viewer, you can close the text. No, you can't close the textbook apparently.